Welcome back everyone to day 6 of our AWS Cloud Practitioner journey. Today we are covering one of the most important AWS services you will ever learn, that is IAM, Identity and Access Management. Let me start with a question. Imagine you are an admin of a company's AWS account and you have 10 developers, 5 database administrators and 3 security engineers, and with that you have 100 AWS resources. Okay, so how do you decide who can access what, who can create EC2 instances, who can read data from S3, and who can modify your production databases? That's exactly what IAM solves. IAM is a gatekeeper of your AWS account. Every request that enters into your AWS account is evaluated through IAM. And from an exam perspective, IAM questions typically account for a significant portion of cloud practitioner security questions. And by the end of this today's session, you will understand what are users, what are groups, what are roles, what are policies, MFA, least privilege thing, and the most common exam scenarios, most common IAM scenarios tested in the exam. So let's begin. Today we will cover 6 major concepts. The first one is IAM 4 core components: user, groups, roles, policies. Then we will discuss the most dangerous identity in AWS, that is the root account. After that we will learn MFA and why AWS strongly recommends it. We will explore the principle of least privilege, that is the golden rule of IAM. Then we will answer one of the most important AWS exam question: when should I use a user and when should I use a role? And finally, we will perform a complete IAM setup together. This is one of the most practical days in this course. So let's continue it. Everything in IAM revolves around 4 core components: users, groups, roles, and policies. Let's start with users. A user represents a person or an application. Think of it like an identity. A user can have a console password, CLI access keys, or both. Best practice is that one user per person and never share credentials. Now let's talk about group. What is group? Suppose you have 50 developers. You need to give same permission to all 50. So what would you do? Go to IAM and attach permissions one by one? Of course not. That would be a nightmare. Instead, what you do is you create a group and you attach the permission to that group and you are done. For example, so you create a group like developers, administrators, finance, security. Then you attach permissions to that group and every user in that group automatically inherits those permissions. It is much easier. And one important exam fact: groups cannot contain other groups. Remember that. AWS does not support nested groups. Now let's discuss roles. Roles are very different. Roles do not have permanent password, roles do not have permanent access keys. They generate temporary credentials. And talking about who uses role, AWS services uses role. Like EC2 uses role, Lambda, ECS, these uses roles. Okay, so now let's talk about final one, that is policy. Policies defines permissions and policies answer one question: what is this identity allowed it to do? Policies are actually written in JSON format and attached to users, groups, or roles. Without a policy, an identity has no permission. Remember this. Users, groups, or roles are identities and policies defines what those identities can do. So policies are attached to users, groups, roles. Users and AWS services get permission only through policies. If there is no policy, there is no access. Now let's stop talking about IAM and actually look at it. Like, where are these user, groups, role, policies are present? Okay, let me switch to the console. So now, as I'm in the console, what I'm gonna do is click on IAM. If you are not able to see IAM over here, you can search from the search bar IAM and you can click on IAM, and now you will find a lot of things, a lot of stuff over here. But remember, don't get overwhelmed by looking all these things. The things that you need to understand are not a lot. So you can see we are in the dashboard. Here are some security recommendations and IAM resources, user groups, users, roles, policies, identity providers. Notice the structure, everything we discussed is visible here. If I hire 20 new developers tomorrow, would I attach a permission individually? No. So I will place them in developers group. That's why groups exist. Now let's talk about the most dangerous identity in AWS. That is the root account. What is root account? Root account is the account that is created the moment you create an AWS account. So it uses your email address, your password, and it has unlimited permissions. Literally unlimited. The root account can delete your AWS account, it can modify your billing details, close your account entirely, delete every resource, bypass IAM restrictions, everything you can think of. So this is why AWS strongly recommends enable multi-factor authentication immediately. Whenever you create an account, enable MFA and create an IAM admin user for all daily work and stop signing in as root. Okay, think of root as the master key to an entire building. You don't carry it around every day, you lock it away and use it only when you absolutely need and it is absolutely necessary. So AWS loves asking this question: what should you do immediately after creating a new AWS account? The first thing you need to do is enable multi-factor authentication on your root account. Okay, so remember that. Now let's talk about one of the most important security principles in the entire cloud industry, that is the least privilege. I must have discussed this in the previous videos as well, but now let's go beyond that. See, the idea is simple: give only the permissions required, nothing more. Suppose I have a lambda function, I will denote it by L. So its job is only to read data from one S3 bucket. What permission should I give? Only S3 get object. Yes, I won't give full administrator access, not full S3 access, not EC2 permissions, only what's required. Because if those credentials are compromised, the attacker can only perform those actions. The damage will stay small. This is called reducing the blast radius. So whenever you see best practice, most secure, minimum permissions, the answer is always the principle of least privilege. Remember that thing. Now let's talk about IAM's users versus roles. This is one of the most tested IAM topics. When should we use a user and when should we use a role? When to use IAM users? Use a IAM user when the human needs long-term access. Example, developers, administrator, cloud engineers, anyone who needs console access. Now let's take a look at roles. When to use IAM roles? Roles are used when AWS services need access to other AWS services. Example, an EC2 instance. An EC2 instance needs to read files from S3. So many beginners do this. What they will do is create IAM user, generate access keys, store keys inside EC2. Yes, but this is wrong, very wrong. So instead what we do is create an IAM role. I will create an IAM role and attach it with EC2. AWS automatically provides temporary credentials, so there won't be any hard-coded secrets. Remember, we shouldn't hard-code any secrets anytime. So there is no key rotation headaches. It is much safer. Let's take one exam question. An EC2 instance needs secure access to S3. What I said, an EC2 instance need secure access to S3. So should you create IAM user and access keys or create IAM role? Yes, so the answer is IAM role always. Now we are going to build everything we have discussed. Let's perform a complete IAM setup. As I am in the AWS console, the first thing, as I said, once you create the AWS account is to set up multi-factor authentication. You can do that. What you need to do is just download the authenticator apps like Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator, scan the QR code and simply set up the multi-factor authentication. This will help the root account security. So now let's see IAM. I will go to the IAM dashboard. and I will go to the users and I will create a new user. Okay, let's say I set the username test user. So I will check this, provide user access to AWS management console. Okay, so now I can set the password, or yeah, you can do anything. Let me set the password. I'm bad with password, so let me set test user @ 123. Okay, what I will do is, okay, we need uppercase as well. Test user @ 123, and I will disable this thing. You can enable this thing because if you enable this, whenever user login with this account, it will automatically ask to create a new password. So there will be an policy automatically attached to this user. So for now I will not enable this. Next. Alright, so now I am in the set permissions page. Now I am gonna attach administrator access, administrator permission to this user. So what I will do is go to attach policies directly and search for administrator access. Here it is. I will check this. If you click over here in the plus button, you will see a JSON file. JSON, something written in the JSON format, version, statement, effect, allow, resource, action. That means allow everything, give administrator access. So we will now click on next, and you can see the permission has been attached with this user. And now we will click on create user. So now you can download the CSV file for login details or simply login. You will find the console sign in URL. So why it is shown over here? Let me tell you this. If you click on this, copy it. Let me copy this and go to incognito mode and enter this. Whenever I visit this site, the IAM ID, the account ID is automatically pasted over here with this link. The account ID automatically gets pasted over here. Okay, so now let me try logging into this account. What I will do is open incognito this, and let me try logging in. Test user, password is test user, sign in. So once I am logged in with this IAM user, since I have given him every permission, it means this account can access everything in my AWS account. So now let's talk about how to create developers group. This is one of the important part. So what I will do is go to IAM. I will click on IAM user groups and I will create a group. So let me give it some name like developers. It is a group for developers. And now I can attach the policies, but remember you can attach up to 10 policies to the user group only. All the users in this group will have permission that are defined in the selected policies. So keep that in mind. In here I will search for the policy. Let me put power user policy. That is power user access, I guess. Yes. Okay, select this one. So this will give full access to the AWS services and resources, but it will not allow users to create or manage other users. Now let me click on create group. As you can see, group has been created named developers. So now what I will do is add my admin user to this group. Click on developers. What I can do is add users and click on test user, add users. So now this test user inherit the permissions set in the developers group. That is the permissions, that is power user access, is now inherited by this user as well. So that's the power of groups. Now we have created the identities. Let's look at the permission underneath, like how permissions are set up and what is this JSON format. So what are policies? Policies are simply JSON documents. Don't worry, the Cloud Practitioner exam doesn't expect you to write JSON, so you just need to understand the structure. Every policy contains effect, action, resource. Example, effect is equal to allow, action S3 get object or S3 put object. You can put what actions it can perform, and resource ARN AWS S3 my bucket, that is a specific S3 bucket, meaning this identity can read object from this bucket. Now here's the most important rule. Explicit deny always win. Always. What does this mean? Even if 5 policies allow access and there is one explicit deny, so it will override them all. And AWS uses this behavior to enforce security restrictions. Remember, deny beats allow every single time. Talking about hands-on, so we have enabled multi-factor authentication on your account. You can do that. And we have created IAM users, created developers group, and now let's create an EC2 IAM role and attach Amazon S3 read-only access. Okay, so let me go to the console again. So here I will go to IAM and click on roles. Here it is, and in this what I will do is create a role, and among this trusted identity type I will select the AWS service. Like I wanted to attach this to EC2, so attach, so select this, click on next. Okay, you select the use case EC2 and select the use case allows EC2 instance to call AWS services on your behalf. Okay, I will click on next. Now I can attach the policies. What I will do is we have to attach the S3 read only permission. So I will search for S3 read. You can see that there is an policy. So what is there? Affect, allow, action, S3 get, list, describe, S3 object, lambda get, lambda list, resource star. Okay, means it can access any S3 bucket. I will select this policy, click on next. Now I can give this role name. Let me give this S3 read only. So now I will check this, the policy, there is single policy attached, which I have attached. That's great. I have single policy attached. Okay, so now I will click on create role. So now imagine we attach this role to an EC2 instance. The instance automatically receives temporary credentials. There is no access keys, no password, no secrets stored on the server. This is exactly how AWS wants services to authenticate. Got it? So let's review what we have done. We have enabled MFA, created IAM user role, created developers group, created an EC2 IAM role, and applied AWS best security practices. Everything we have done today reflects how real AWS environments are configured. Excellent work today. Let's review what we have done. Users equal to permanent identities, groups equal to collection of users, roles equal to temporary identities. Remember that. Policies equal to permission roles, root account equal to highest level of privilege, highest privilege identity. You need to protect it with MFA. Least privilege equal to, and what does that least privilege means? Only grant permissions that are required for specific task. For EC2 Lambda AWS services, we always use roles. We don't use IAM users with hard-coded keys. Remember that. Complete the IAM lab if you haven't already. Then solve 20 IAM scenario question. Tomorrow we will have our first milestone assessment covering everything from day 1 to day 6. Thank you for joining day 6. I will see you in the next mock exam session. Have a nice day.